All right, thank you. There's Cheryl Pounder, Jeff O'Neill, and Darren Drager. So the Leafs are now 2 wins into round 2, which means they're halfway there to being halfway there to the big prize. So it's a long way to go. And yet, game in, game out, are they not showing us all the things, little and sometimes big, that they've never really shown us?
James, Paul Maurice, the coach of the Florida Panthers, coached me for about 95% of my games, and one of his sayings, his go-tos, was stay in the fight and you're always going to have a chance to win. And it's funny because that's exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs did tonight. Every time that Florida scored, they had a response. Barkov gets on the board early. Pacioretty comes back. Marchand takes the lead. Nylander gets back. And Lundell ties the game. And they needed somebody to step up with a goal, and it's one of their best players, Mitch Marner. And they had to manufacture something. Florida said, you're not getting anything else on the rush. And Mitch Marner just puts this puck on his stick upright and just zings it into the net. This is not a goal that you would think Bobrovsky would give up at this time of game. I think the way that he shot this puck, he almost slings it because it was on its edge, and it beats Bobrovsky. As soon as Florida, it looked like early on it was going to be the standard Cup champ response game where it's like, okay, they're going to get back into this series. They're going to go back 1-1. The Maple Leafs always found a response.
Well, and you see that throwing that puck to the net works, but it also works when you have net front presence. And that's exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs are doing. They're getting to the net. They're finding ways to throw guys without the puck in the middle of the ice, playing strong in those areas, and especially Matthew Nyes tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a clear indication, again, that the players are paying attention now to what the coaching staff has been preaching all year long. And that's just basics. That's the staples of winning in the playoffs. When you've got that shot coming from the point, be it in this case long range from Mitch Marner, or the defense have done a better job in the Toronto Maple Leafs lineup of getting pucks on net. But you've got to have that net front presence. You've got to have the bodies there. So I'm impressed by the resolve of this team. And coming into the playoffs, we talked about a maturity level. Okay, you get through round 1 in the Battle of Ontario, you show that maturity. You show a readiness to push. But you're playing the defending Stanley Cup champions here. You know, this Florida team maybe hasn't played their best through 2 games, but you have to give the Maple Leafs full credit.
I think they've certainly got the attention of the Florida Panthers winning the first 2 hockey games, and I think they've got the attention of their goaltender, too. Giving up 9 goals in 2 games. I don't care what league you're talking about. You're not going to win giving up that many goals.
It's just, you know, this fan base is scarred by the last 8-9 years. And so every time something happens where Florida gets a goal, like you're saying, and you go, okay, here it comes.
Here it comes.
Now the Panthers will come. And no, it's not that way. Part of that is Willie Nylander, who's sensational again on this night with a huge goal. And here's Willie.
Yeah, I mean, I think we battled, and again, you know, they scored and we came back and answered. So I think that was huge, and you know, competed till the end there.
You like playing with Pacioretty?
Yeah, I mean, he's been heavy on the forecheck, getting pucks back, and I mean, scoring goals and making really nice plays. So it's been a lot of fun and easy to play with.
About Joe that you didn't know before this year?
I don't know. It's a weird question. I mean, I haven't really thought about that. Like, yeah.
Where was Joe just stepping in for you guys and making that big save with 10 minutes to go as well?
That was huge. I mean, came in last game, played great, and I mean, played great today as well. So that's what we need. Everybody just, you know, working their bag off and trying to play their best every night.
You say about how he just prepares and stays so in the field. He hasn't played since the middle of April, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's done it all year, you know, just focused every time he goes in the net, and you know, he's been incredible.
It's like you've been wearing the same suit the last few games. Is it safe to say that one will be going with you to Sunrise?
It's just the one that's in the front right now. I don't really know. We'll see. Maybe I think a little bit longer when I pack tomorrow.
What's the feeling heading to Florida up 2-0?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to play for Florida. I mean, they're a great team, so I mean, we know next game is going to be a huge battle, and you know, every game has been tight, so we just gotta, you know, focus for next game.
What can you say about Mitch, the new dad, coming through like that? He had some big moments in 4 Nations, and then tonight, when it mattered, comes through again.
Yeah, I mean, so happy for him. It's an incredible moment in your life, and I mean, to be doing that and, you know, playing unbelievable hockey, it's just really special, and just so happy for him.
What did you make of the defense's game? It looked like there was a couple pucks that could have gone in, and there was a McCabe one where he cleared it out to end up there too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said earlier. Like, we were battling, competing out there. I mean, they're getting some chances, and goalie, defense, I mean, are doing their best to keep it out of the net.
Why do you think you guys have been able to generate so much transition kind of off the rush so far in the series?
I don't know. They play an aggressive game, and I mean, they're really good at it. I think we've gotten maybe some bounces that have gone our way, so that's what happens sometimes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Will. Thank you.
Now in the other room, Brad Marchand.
Marsh, obviously a tight run back tonight. Where do you guys feel like you made strides, and where do you feel like you're starting to get better moving forward in this series?
They're biggest threat because they're very good on the rush. So I mean, you got to be above them. It seemed like every time we gave them the opportunity to get above us, they created something or they capitalized on it. It just shows how dangerous they are. It doesn't take much for them to score. So we just have to make sure that we're pretty much perfect out there on our defensive coverage.
Brad, do you see a different challenge from the Leafs than you faced in the past in these playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're continuing to get better and grow as a group. They brought a lot of good pieces in at the deadline in the off season to kind of address their back end. They're heavy back there, and obviously their coaching has changed, and their structure is very, very good right now, especially in the D zone. They don't give up a whole lot around the net. So, yeah, they're we knew it was going to be a really tough battle. We didn't expect to roll over them by any means. So, we have our work cut out. They're playing really well, and obviously their top guys are capitalizing on every opportunity, it seems like.
Your line has really put them on their heels, though, when you've been out there. What's worked for you guys through 2 games as a unit?
I just think that we read off each other well. We support each other well, kind of all over the ice, and able to create sometimes. Sometimes it's just the luck of the bounces and how the game goes. But I still feel like we can be a little bit better. But we definitely have the chemistry right now.
Just a sense of urgency right now with you guys down 0-2?
Yeah, I mean, it's high. It's one day at a time. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. We're okay in here. We have a lot of belief in our group, in our room, our experience. Obviously they're playing. They're fighting for their lives. I mean, they came ready to play in this round, and we see that. But again, these series can change on a dime, and it's all about that next one. We're living for tomorrow right now, and that's how we'll prepare.
Brad, before the series started, Craig Berube emphasized how special of a player Anton Lundell was to his team and the media. He's been an impact player through the first 2 games. What have you learned about him since joining this club?
Yeah, he's an incredible two-way player. He's way beyond his years with the way that he plays the game. It's very impressive at a very young age. And he's a driver. I mean, he's driving a line right now. He's good in every area of the ice. He's so good defensively, but he has the patience and playmaking ability as well. So it makes for a dangerous combo. And he has that chemistry with Lusty that they've played together for a while now, and they click. And I'm just trying to jump in with 2 finished feet arms and have some fun.
Do you feel like you're leaving Bob a little bit too much on his own right now? As a group?
Yeah, I mean, we're giving up a lot on man rushes, which we have to definitely do a better job with. They are very dangerous when they get those. They make plays, is what they do. So, yeah, we got to be better in front of them for sure.
Thanks, Brad. Interesting stuff. First, acknowledging Toronto's a different team. And here is a guy who probably knows more than any other player in the league how fragile Toronto was before. Yeah. So that's quite an acknowledgement. We've been saying it all year, but for Brad Marchand to say it about the Leafs is something. The other thing, just saying that off the rush is their biggest threat, and we've seen that through 2 games.
Yeah, I thought tonight that the Florida Panthers, their mandate would be 0 off the rush. You saw the way they frustrated the Tampa Bay Lightning. Kucherov, Braden Point, they couldn't get anything going off the rush. And the Toronto Maple Leafs had some rush opportunities, a backhand play to Nylander, and he makes it count. And another one off the rush here. Stevie Lorentz gets it to Max Domi, and he just one-times it same side. Both of these plays, I don't like the fact they went to their backhand on 2-on-1s, but they pulled them off. Great job. Sometimes you're only going to get those one opportunities off a rush with a quality team like Florida, and they made them pay tonight.
Well, they have the speed and the skill off of the rush, but I'm going to go right to the back end. He says this is a changed team. It is a changed team with players like Tanev and OEL on the back end, and of course Carlo, which was a great acquisition. So if you're going to play off the rush, you also have to have a quick counter and a quick transition to get that puck north right away and beat that high forward, and that's exactly what they did to be able to play off of it. So it starts in their own zone, and so when you look at that, I think they're a very, very different team in their own zone and how they're moving the puck out of their zone, getting north quicker.
You know, Florida will go back to home ice as a wounded animal. I mean, that's how they feel. There's no doubt about that. And earlier we talked about how we haven't seen the best yet from the Panthers, but it's not like they were bad. Like Bobrovsky had his moments in this one, as Brad Marchand just talked about. Maybe they hung him out a couple of times. But look at how they came into the game. I mean, Barkov takes advantage on the power play. He makes it 1-0. Then early in the second period, there's Brad Marchand along with Loisterainen and Lundell. Probably through 2 games, Florida's most dangerous, their most consistent line is this third line. So maybe there is some concern from a Panthers perspective going into Game 3, looking forward to Game 4. Yeah, 2 games on home ice, but we started strong in Game 2. We followed it up with a strong start to the second period with that Marchand goal, but just couldn't sustain.
Seems like a lot of series we've sat up here and talked about the core 4 getting outplayed by the others. Right now, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs' best players playing better than Florida's. You look at Matthew Tkachuk and Bennett, and
quiet.
They're quiet, and they're not doing a whole lot. So credit to the defense corps, as you mentioned, Cheryl. But the Toronto Maple Leafs players are stepping up and making plays, and that's why they're having success.
Well, then you look up and down their lineup, and I'm going to say, you know, that left winger on that second line, like someone like Pacioretty, right? 36 years of age and filling a gap right now. And you see Holmberg elevating every once in a while when they're holding that lead to add some speed to that line. But he's playing in around 12 to 13 minutes right now. Even the fourth line with Scotty Lawton, I thought there was some real nice plays, some backtracking, some pressure in zone, and the Lorentz pass. So there you go.
Pacioretty's becoming one of the individual stories of the playoffs. Plays hero in the wrap-up game against Ottawa, a significant role tonight. Let's hear from Max Pacioretty.
Max, what do you guys do well to pull this one out tonight?
It's never really perfect in the playoffs, and we knew that they were going to play a very, very intense game, and we were able to match that intensity. And it feels really good, but at the same time, we know they're going to come out even harder and Sunrise. So enjoy it now, but get ready to really get to work.
Game 6 in Ottawa, they score, your opponent scores the Senators. You guys come right back within like 2 minutes. Tonight, they score, you guys come right back. What's that say about the resiliency of the team?
Yeah, I mean, very similar situations. And you just know, like, guys that are all over it, eventually it's going to go in. And it's not to say that we dominated the game by any means, but we had guys that were feeling good and doing all the little things all over the ice that sometimes you don't get rewarded for. But at the end of the day, if you stick with that process, you know, good things tend to happen and things tend to work out. Really happy for Mitchie in that situation.
Max, what's the last 5 days been like for Mitch, do you think?
Yeah. I mean, definitely, you know, super happy for him. You know, you think back to time your first child, and you know, at this time of year, it's probably a lot, but a lot of good stuff has come out of it, and he's playing for Miles right now.
Max, to have a playoff run of any kind, you need wins like tonight, where maybe you're not the better team on the ice, but you get a W anyhow.
Yeah, and knowing and learning how to win in different situations and not getting too caught up in the past or things we can't control. Good teams find a way to handle that adversity, and we've, you know, faced a little bit of adversity in this playoffs, but every run I've been on, every time I've won rounds, you definitely have a lot of adversity, and tonight was a decent example of that, but top guys found a way to break through.
What's the best part of playing with Nylander for you?
Lots of words because there's so many words I can describe it. He's just all over it every night, always in a good spot, just works insanely hard. That often gets overlooked because you're kind of blown away by his skill. But he's playing really, really good hockey right now.
9 goals.
Now the other Max. Huge goal for Max Domi.
Had everyone going. Takes everyone to win this time of year, so big win, and got to get ready for the next one now.
But just seeing the resilience of this group and how often you guys have scored during the playoffs immediately after the opponent scores, what's changed about the identity of this team this year and just the mood in the room, and why is it different right now?
Nothing's changed. It's playoff hockey, man. That's how it goes. You just got to ride the waves and, not get too up, not get too down, and stay as even keel as you can. And we did a really good job of that tonight. Joe was unbelievable and capitalized when we could and made the play we had to make.
What have you noticed about Mitch as he navigates fatherhood and the playoffs?
It's awesome. He's the cutest kid I think I've ever seen. Have you guys seen a picture of it yet? So cute. So I'm so happy for him. That's a huge goal tonight. But him and Steph are such great people, the whole family. I don't really know her side, but Mitchie's side, great family, and I've known them for a long time. So real happy for both of them, and they're both going to be great parents.
What do you appreciate about what Will's done the last couple games? You're easy coming in cold.
Looked great, made some huge saves. Like I said, everyone did their job. To win playoff games, you literally need everyone to do their job, and everyone has their own job, and we did a good job of that tonight.
What do you expect from Florida down 0-2 and home?
It doesn't matter. It's just got to take every shift, every period, and every game like it's going to be your last. So that's how we're going to take it, and I'm sure that's how they're going to do it too. A lot of desperation on both sides, and like I said earlier, that's a heck of a hockey club. They're champions for a reason, so we got to bring our best, and it's going to be a tough build in the plans. We're looking forward to it.
So what do you know about Pacioretty that you didn't know maybe before this season?
He's hilarious, first of all. He's a great dude, man. But no, his ability to get on the forecheck and how fast he is, I knew he had the speed and pure goal scorer and stuff, but he's really bought into the role of being a menace on the forecheck. He gets in on those D and they're looking over their shoulder because they know he's coming. And he's a big man that can move real quick, and he's got a lot of weight behind him. So when he connects with those hits, it makes the D, second guess going back, and that's super effective at this time of year, and he's playing great.
A lot of new Mitch Marner father questions on this night. But, hey, congratulations to Mitch Marner. We haven't said it before.
Baby Miles.
Huge goal for him. When we talk about this team being different, it probably starts with the D and the 1-2 combo in net that they've had all year long. And it's been one of the great stories for the Leafs, and it continues in these playoffs. Joe Woll comes in game one after not having played in several weeks. Doesn't even get a warm-up, doesn't look great in that third period. His team wasn't great in front of him. But in game two, with a couple of days, knowing he was going to play, wasn't perfect, but was he exactly what they needed?
Absolutely, and Max Domi said it, every guy's stepping up, and he came in and he stepped up. He did exactly what he needed to do for this team, making the saves when called upon, especially when you have a Florida team that not only is going to pressure you on the forecheck and turn pucks over, but you know that they're going to get in and around the paint and in your face, and he was able to see pucks, track pucks, and make huge saves for this team. That one in particular with that left pad, but most importantly, what I thought is just he was assertive. He was confident in his crease and in his movements. He had quieter feet, cutting down his angles. And when you have a goaltender in net, and he's different, certainly, he doesn't play the puck as much as Stolarz, here's a guy that is going to make that first save. Guess what? You have confidence in it. But we saw it all year long. All of us sat up here on the panel talking about midway through the season, who's it going to be? It was always a quiz question. But, at the end of the day, they have a 1-2 punch. And that is a big difference. And now that Stolarz is out, he stepped up to the plate with his 26 of 29 saves.
He did. He responded to the pressure of the postseason. Yep. And it can't take the heat off. It doesn't mean that there's less pressure on Joseph Woll going into Florida or the defense or the team play in general. But he answered all the critics. I will say this. And you look as he got stronger as the game went on. Yep. Third period, this is what Noodles calls a 10-bell save right there, right? That's a toe save by Joseph Woll on Mackie Samoskevich. Good pass by Nate Schmidt, but that's potentially a game-changing save, and that's exactly what they needed out of him going into Game 3.
I think the mandate would have been simple. Give your team a chance to win the hockey game. It didn't start out great. When that Barkov goal went in, I said, okay, this is going to be interesting. And he rebounded, and he ultimately gave his team a chance to win the game.
And for those who didn't see SportsCenter earlier on tonight, Stolarz, of course, we don't know exactly how he'll respond, but it looks like it's going to be a bit.
I would say on the outside a week. The good news is that, as of earlier today, he was feeling better, right? So that's the good news. But based on what he's dealing with, they have to take the allotted time, and they're going to make sure that he is feeling strong enough when he jumps back into the crease, assuming that they need him. They're going to need him eventually, but that's an interesting conversation, right? You know, what if he's available in Game 4? Do you throw him back into the mix if the Toronto Maple Leafs are strong, they win Game 3, and they're up 3-0, or do you allow Joseph Woll to potentially...
Yeah, well, it's the Calvin Pickard situation.
Let's not cause controversy here.
Now, the good news is, again, I don't think he'll be available. He won't be available for Game 3, Anthony Stolars. I think Game 4 is a
possibility.
Stretch. So
a
maybe
stretch or a possibility?
I would say it's a stretch.
Okay.
I think you're looking more later in the series, Game 5.
Paul Maurice took the blame in his post-game news conference for Game 1 for the start that the Panthers had. Let's see what he says after Game 2.
Well, Paul, obviously your team's seen it all and done it all in the playoffs the last couple of years. How much is that experience going to help as you head home now, down 0-2?
Well, I think you have to understand your game. We didn't love our Game 1, but we liked our game here tonight. So come out on the road, we lost 2 one-goal games and get to go back home now.
Paul, did you get any explanation on the Rodriguez embellishment penalty? I'm not sure I've seen that call when a guy goes to the room.
No, I didn't.
Paul, odd man rushes got the better of you guys a couple times. Just what did you see defensively on a few of those lapses? Just how you clean that up?
I thought we were late in the first game on some of those, but we had control of the puck on both of them. Off that transition, that's where you'd like to be able to hang on to it a little bit more, perhaps.
How would you assess Sergei's performance in this series so far?
Didn't love his first game, I thought, up until the fourth one. He was, I don't look at him for any of the first 3. We've got haven't given up a tremendous lot tonight, but the danger on the rush is significant. So goalie's going to be fine.
Paul, how much do you lean on the experience of your veteran guys who've been through these types of situations now time and again over the last couple of years?
Well, you have to know your game. We talk about that an awful lot. There'll be lots of stuff that we like about our game that we think we can improve on and do more with. So we'll take a look at it and get better.
Might be some people look at an 0-2 hold and say, well, a lot of hockey the last 2 years, but you had a break for the playoffs, had a break between rounds. Yeah, well, I don't. That.
We haven't used that. I don't know what today was. 7th game in about 3 weeks. Like, it's half the schedule that we like to have. It's not. It's half the schedule that we're used to playing coming into the playoffs. So that's not an issue for us.
Paul, just the continued strides from the third line, Marchand, Lundell, Bogangle, just how much have they been able to help keep you guys in these games so far?
Well, I don't really view them as a third line based on their production. They've been good since they've been together, and I think they're still getting better. They're still growing. So there's lots we can do with that line playing as well as it is.
Paul Samuel starts in the 4th, gets bumped up to the 2nd.
Yeah.
Did you see a different player from when he went out to when he came back in? Did you see the strides you were looking for?
Yeah, you know what? He did what we needed him to do. He brought in some speed after Rodriguez's embellishment. They had to move him down to the 4th. So Samuel did, man. It was a great chance, great save. That's what you're looking for. I thought he had some good speed in his game. So that's a real positive for him.
I don't know who is 100% this time of year, but what are you seeing in Matthew Tkachuk's game right now?
I thought he was good tonight. Like, he was generating. Like, this was the best game for me that he's played. I liked his game. Okay, everybody.
It's interesting. After Game 1, he was, full Maurice, right, with the sarcastic comments and the comedy and being clever, and that was kind of short and serious. I'm not, if you read anything into that.
I think it's a combination of 2 things, James. He's acknowledging that they are in a bit of trouble here. The Maple Leafs are up 2-0, but there's also a sense of confidence where he knows his team has been through this a lot, and he knows there's going to be a response in Game 3. So I think that's a combination of what you saw in the last 2 games.
I think it's a reflection of the market, too. Right, Toronto. I mean, he's a former coach. He understands the volume of the media and the noise around playoff hockey in Toronto. Why give anyone more than you have to?
But sometimes he always gives more in these things. So that's, I don't know, it's interesting.
And there's an interesting comment for me that he made was, play your game. And it's almost as if, the Leafs are also taking their game away, right? Because they're matching that physical element. And you watch down low in zone as well, just how physical the Leafs are being as well. So in that contact zone, the second layer's in right away. So I think it's a very, very different team net front. And because of that, they're taking Florida's game away a little bit as well.
Twice I noticed Matthew Tkachuk in front of the Toronto Maple Leaf net all game long. And Paul just answered Pierre LeBrun's question about what he's seeing in Matthew Tkachuk. Now, you know the gamer that Matthew is, and you do expect on home ice, given a bit more rest here, game 3 and 4, he'll find a way. That doesn't look like vintage Matthew. It doesn't look like he's anywhere near
Max Pacioretty's been a much bigger factor than Matthew Tkachuk, and even Sam Bennett was quiet tonight.
Coming off a tough injury.
Well, for sure. And his, sweet spot is down below the goal line and in around sort of the top of the paint, right, for someone like Matthew Tkachuk. And what I noticed tonight, even about Joseph Woll, he was very, very aggressive on that initial shooter. You can get above your paint, which he wasn't in game 1. But a lot of the time you do that because you trust your defense are going to take away the back door, that they're going to get sticks, that they're going to box out. And I think that they've been so much better in that area. You saw Jake McCabe, you saw Tanev, protect that back door, really negating some goals. So I think just that little circumference, that area, that they've been much stronger, and that's Florida's game.
I thought it was real positive on the Maple Leafs, and some people might not like it, but if you start the game and you're worried about chasing around Bennett around the ice, it takes away from the focus. They were focused on the win tonight.
Yep.
Just quickly, because Maurice didn't take the bait on the Rodriguez embellishment call, but I think you guys will do it. That was a brutal call, was it not?
That was embarrassing. It's embarrassing to the league to have an official call embellishing on
the
that.
Domi call in the first game was pretty bad as well. So you talked about balance.
It'll be interesting to see what happens again moving forward in this series. What I know is the series supervisor always has the conversation with the officials before the game, and they watch embellishment. They make sure that the penalty is there. First and foremost. And then if there's an don't go looking for it, but if it's there, call it. It was not there on that play. He was hit from behind.
Let's get more from the rink. Joe Woll and Mitch Marner.
You talk a little bit about your last 4 days, having your first kid, celebrating your birthday, and now a game-winning goal in the second round.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind in to say the least. It's been a really exciting time at my house with my wife and I and our families, just with the excitement of our newborn. And like I spoke about, my wife's been an absolute beast through this whole process, letting me get my sleep and really, taking the reins on our newborn. So it's been a special moment. It's a pretty special feeling tonight for scoring that goal for sure.
Mitch, just it's not easy for a guy like Joe to come in off the bench last game, and he's started well in the playoffs before. Just a word on what he did for you guys tonight, especially in the third period.
Yeah, amazing. Like we've talked about all year, we have so much confidence in either goalie in our net. Joe just comes in with such a calming presence. Just his preparation before games, during games. He's getting a little old now, but just with his age, it's just so professional to see and how he takes everything every day. So, there's never any worry with either guy in net. And, Joe showed it again tonight why he's, one of the best.
Joe, what was going through your mind in that third period? They came with just about everything at you in throughout that final period.
Not a whole lot. Just trying to stay in the moment and stick to my process and focus on one save at a time.
More to that point, what has the day been like? What was the mindset going in, and what do you think of your own performance and the team's performance?
I thought the team was great in front of me. It's been special to see, really all season, but as the regular season was coming to a close, and then here in playoffs, the guys just putting their body on the line, forwards and defensemen. You guys see it night in, night out. That's unbelievable, and that's what it takes. And we have a lot of special players that are willing to do that and do the hard things. And for me, my day looked the same as any other game, and just trying to take the same approach I have all season.
Joseph, it's been 20 days since your last start. What's that waiting been like for you to get back in the net?
Yeah, it's been something I've had to focus on and come up with a plan to stay ready as well as I can. And it's a different challenge than playing every night, but a challenge nonetheless. And I think I've done what I've needed to do to prepare to be in the spot. So.
Mitch, it's not easy for a player like Max Pacioretty to be a star in the league and then to find a different role later in his career. What have you seen from him since he's come to the lineup, especially in these playoffs?
I think just speaking off, the first day he got here, he takes such pride in what he does out there on the ice. He's he's a big frame out there. He's moving great. You know, his shot is obviously what everyone has seen throughout the years of him. But just his work ethic, his compete, using his body, getting to the net. You know, it's been a lot of fun to watch. And obviously the last couple of years have been very tough for him. And just to see him, you know, doing what he does and you know, playing at such a high level for us, it's really been special just with the amount of work and, you know, just the grind mentally it's probably taken on the last 3 years with what's happened to his body. So it's been unbelievable to see. You know, it's really cool just to be a part of that and see his process day in, day out. And, you know, he's done a lot for us on the ice, regular season, playoffs wise. So it's great to see him get rewarded the last couple of games, and he's working his ass off. So it's great.
Finally, Leafs head coach Craig Berube.
Craig, the game was certainly fun to watch. A bit of a track meet. Did you guys want to play that way, or did you just sort of go with the flow with how things kind of?
Yeah, it was a little bit back and forth for sure. Probably a little too much at times, but I mean, you know, the way they play, they're quick and they do things quick, and they don't give you room, and you know, if things don't get behind them, then they're going the other way. You know, so, but it's works the other way too, which, you know, we've done a good job of that so far.
They came with just about everything in the third period. Just talk about how your team held its own.
I thought our
in that
game
regard.
in the third period was actually really good. Maybe early on, the first 5 minutes, not a little bit letting them come at us too much, and we didn't break the puck out very well. But I thought after that it was pretty good. And then obviously with the goalie out, it's, you know, it's all loose, not loose, but it's, you know, they're chucking everything at the net, and that's the way they play. And guys did a good job, you know, competing, battling, blocking shots, all the things that we need to do to be successful.
Max Pacioretty, he's a star in this league, and he's gone through the injury trouble, and now he's, you know, a different role. Not every player could do that. What has he shown you from the start of the season to now, and especially in these playoffs, with how he just goes about his
Yeah,
business?
I think it goes back with his injuries and the effort and commitment he put back to getting healthy. And, you know, it's showing now, in my opinion, that he's very dedicated in that aspect, and didn't want to, you know, go out that way, or, you know, fought his way back, and now he's, you know, doing a great job for us in a lot of areas of the game, not just the scoring. He's played a pivotal role with the physicality and how we want to play, the heavy style of game, and he's been a good fit.
Craig, first start for Joseph Woll in some time. What stood out to you about how he handled the moment here tonight?
Very calm and cool in net, I thought. You know, and made saves. Like, you know, the pucks are coming to the net all the time with playing Florida. So he was on his toes, and he, you know, very fighting through traffic and making the saves that are needed. You know, very impressed with him tonight.
Craig, you know, can you talk a little bit about, first of all, Mitch's last 4 days, baby, birthday, and then tonight, and just, we've talked about this before, but at the Four Nations, he was a difference maker. Overtime goal, sets up the tournament winner, and then tonight, a difference maker again.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good stuff happened in his life. And then, you know, obviously a huge goal tonight. That, you know, Mitch is a great player. We all know that. Very intelligent player, plays extremely well on both sides of the puck and touches all areas of the game for you. But he does have the ability to make something happen when it counts, you know, and that's, you know, Four Nations play to McDavid, and then tonight with the big goal. And that's what we need out of these guys.
9 goals already on Bobrovsky. What are you guys doing right to get to him?
We're getting to the net. I think we're doing a good job of being at the net. I liked the way we attacked the net tonight and got to the net into the blue paint. And that's what you got to do. We got to get there, and we got to keep getting there, keep getting traffic, and keep chucking pucks in there from everywhere. You know, like, we got to keep putting them in there. We can't look for grade A's, and we got to keep firing pucks in there. And it's the player's job is to get there. You know, it's coming there, so we know that, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of it. We've got to continue to do that.
Everybody knows the talent level that William Nylander has, but it's another thing to do it on this stage at this time of year, the way he's doing it right now. What have you, if anything, learned about him? Not that there's anything more to learn.
Just leave him alone. I learned, he is, nothing gets to him. I mean, I think if anything, like he doesn't feel, pressure and I could be wrong, but this is what I see. There's no too big a stage for this guy. Like he thrives on this stuff, in my opinion, and he looks forward to it, and he wants to be in all those critical situations. And when he smells something, he's there. That's a goal. That goal is that's as high end as it can get, in my opinion, with hands. And he has great skill with his hands. He's unreal hands he has, and the ability on his skates at, his cutbacks and all that. He's a high-end player. He really is. I mean, and I don't think that he feels pressure or anything like that. He just plays. And he doesn't want me to talk to him. So just leave him alone. I probably should just leave him alone. Thanks.
Hey, it's working right now. Just terrific through the last 3 games, really, in these playoffs, is William Nylander wearing that same old suit. So, the Leafs are all professional, and they're going to downplay this 2-0 lead because that's what hockey players do, and I think everyone will try to downplay this because of all the scars of what's happened in years past, but it's significant. Like, is it too early to say the Panthers are in serious trouble here? Does Toronto need to win a game in Florida for us to say that?
No, I think the Florida Panthers, you can tell by the looks on all their faces and some of their comments, they understand that they're in trouble. It's impossible not to think that. And I said it before round 1, and I'll say it again in round 2. It's okay to spank a team. You can sweep a team and get rest and get everybody healthy. It's okay to do that. And I'm just saying, Dregs, you can go in and the coach is going to have the players understand that game 3 is going to be awfully difficult. They're going back home, but if you do manage to find a way to get that one, then you're in business. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but it's okay to do it.
That's what I heard.
No, come on, Dregs.
That's what Dregs just tweeted.
I said it's okay to do that.
You did.
Like, if you want to go for it and really make a move, go ahead.
Hey, you don't have to make it a 7-game overtime situation.
That's the point. Like, you don't, just like with Ottawa, like, you don't have to make it interesting and get everyone's blood boiling in this market. You can go for the kill.
And there's 85% of that team has a cup, like returning players, and so there's a ton of experience there. Add in Brad Marchand now, so they're not going away, right? They're not going to go 6 away. Yeah. So I do think that they need to get a game in Florida.
You're predicting 6 already.
It obviously could go 6, but I'm saying it doesn't have to. You can really make.
So just for the record, you said Leafs sweep, and Dregs is saying Leafs in 6. That's what
everyone. This has gotten off the rails.
I know. Neither of you said that thing. But look, the Panthers now have to win 4 out of 5 against a team that lost 4 out of 5 one time all season. So even though you're the Stanley Cup champions, it's a major chore. As we send it back to SportsCenter.